So let's go ahead and style this dialog a little bit. And I want to make this wider and have two panes side by side. So this on the left and then this on the right. And I want to put a little more padding around the field sets because it looks a little crowded to me. And maybe add a little bottom margin to these input boxes so they're spread out a little more. So, and then I want to get rid of this close thing because I have this button, so I don't really need this as well. So let's go ahead and start by trying to get it side by side. And in the code that shows the dialog, I can actually specify the width right here. So let's start by making the width be 600 for 600 pixels. Okay, so that's wide now. And it looks ugly, but don't worry, we'll fix that. And then what I also want to do here is make this modal so that you can't actually click on the Show Calculator button while the dialog's up. So to do that, we add modal true to the dialog properties. And now the background's grayed out and you can't interact with anything on the background while this thing's up. Okay. So I want to make these labels and these inputs be block so that they don't get displayed side by side like this. So in my CSS, I'm going to have anything that's an input inside of a field set is going to be display block, and anything that's a label inside a field set is also going to be block. Okay, that's good. And then to get these things side by side, I'm going to have to do a couple of things. So the first thing I want to do is my input fields, I want to float left, and my output fields I want to float right. So input fields float left, and output fields float right. And this isn't quite enough because I also need to do something funny with box sizing. So let's, oh, actually it worked. So let's make the width here be a little less than half so that there's some space between the two things. So let's try width colon 45%, and same thing here. Okay, so now that's a little too big, so let's make it 42%. Okay, that's looking there. And then I want to spread these out a little bit more, so I'm just going to put a bottom margin after each of these inputs, but only in the field set. So margin, bottom, let's try 12 pixels, see how that looks. Okay, well, it looks pretty good. And then I'm going to put padding around the field set as well. So let's go ahead and try field set, padding 20 pixels. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so got a little padding here, but then these overlap again, so let's cut those down a little bit. Let's make it 40%. Okay, that looks good to me. So I want to get rid of this closed box here, and if I right click and inspect this, You see the class for this is, go up in the, it's this button here. And so this is a UI dialog title bar close. That's the class I want to change. And so I want to hide this. And so I'm going to set the CSS property for UI dialog title bar close to be display none. So down here, UI, so that's a class, UI dialog title bar close display none. Try that out. Good, so now I don't have that close thing there, but everything else looks good. So 4.5, 0.5, and then I want to have a calculate button here as well. So I think that's everything for the styling on this, and in the next video I'll go ahead and add the calculate button.